Good morning, Kita. Coaching attendance in the residential real estate business. We're going to get started at 10:02. Hopefully everybody can hear me. We start at 10:02 just to give everybody a couple extra minutes to get on and make sure that everybody's got their tech handled. Go ahead and mute your microphone if you're online today. And again, we're going to get started in about 60 seconds with our Realtor coaching program called Kita. And little challenge on the screen there. If you don't get a chance to do it before we get started, jot yourself down a note. And I like ChatGTP to tell you the truth. Just put in the question, how many law enforcement agencies are there in Macon County? Use your county and say, how many federal law enforcement agencies are there in your county? Nice question to ask as you explore the lion opportunity of HBN, Leo, law enforcement officers, the lion, the king of the HBN opportunity, Leo, the lion of HBN. How many police officers are there in your county? So we go through that exercise just to give you the scope of one of the 9 categories of employment that qualify for down payment assistance and relocation grants from HBN. So hopefully that wets your whistle. And I'll say this as a smart aleck that I've been known to be. You farm 1,000 homes for $1,000 a month for 12 months, and you end up with 3 listings. $12,000 buys you a couple listings, right? You farm this sector, the cops, you spend no money, no $1,000 a month to farm them, free, and you end up doing 30 grand in commissions, and you do 2 listings and 1 sale. Like, it's apples and oranges. And I'm a farming agent. I've been a farming agent my whole life. Geographic farming is what made me stable in the residential real estate business. But Leo, the lion of HBN, made me wealthy or richer. Let's just say that, okay? There's a tremendous amount of loyalty, camaraderie, and pebble in the pond reflection that goes into that community that keeps coming back to you time and time again. I want to thank my beautiful wife, Carrie, who's weathered the awful storm of transition for a year. When I quit my job and decided to open this nonprofit, I haven't taken a paycheck from Hero Benefits Network in a year. I don't get paid to do this at all. I will someday, I hope, and so will Randy someday, he hopes. But we do not take a check, nor does Carrie. This is a free service from Hero Benefits Network. We allow you to do transactions within the network without paying any money. That's unique to Hero Benefits Network over, say, a Homes for Heroes. And we hired this lovely membership director on the left-hand side of your screen to help you with any of your headaches or problems. These are free employees to you that, we're volunteering at the Hero Benefits Network at this point, and we're here to help you. So Kita Coaching is our chance to coach you up towards listing inventory. If that raises the right eyebrow with you, you're new to real estate because listing inventory is the key to your success in residential real estate. Not buyers, not buyer side leads, not buyers that you can buy from Zillow, not buyers that you can buy from Realtor.com. Don't buy buyers. Get listings instead, and then you get the buyers. So Kita Coaching is about listing inventory and how that listing inventory moves your production needle. Big disclaimer here, the views, opinions, and statements that I express, or if we ever have guests or callers, are independent and do not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, or positions of the Hero Benefits Network or our sponsors. As I said earlier, I'm a volunteer. I'm 38, almost 38 years in residential real estate as an individual agent, closing 10 to 12 and as many as 15 transactions a month for an average of 160 homes a year. I was selling with one little team buyer's agent named Chip, my buddy Chip. And then we hired June Stalker, who was our assistant. And the 3 of us sold, 10, 12, 15 homes a month. Listeners are encouraged to exercise their own discretion and consult your broker owner, or if you're a mortgage or title company, check the local laws and make your decisions based on the law in your community. We are a charitable 501c3 and we offer free down payment assistance and relocation grants to 9 sectors of employment. These essential employees are in demand. There's a crisis among our police officers, firefighters, teachers, and hospital district employees. Difficult to keep them in those expensive communities. We're going to talk about the affordable housing crisis that's killing the essential employee workers. So especially, like, just think about this. You live in Miami, the median home is $750 and you make 80 grand a year. Where the freak are you going to live? You're going to go drive 90 minutes out to Pinecrest, where the average home is 500,000. Or you're going to drive way out to Hallandale Beach, where the average sale is 400,000, right? You're going to keep going further and further away from Miami to be a Miami cop. And then eventually you go, fuck this, I don't want to be a Miami cop anymore. And you fly your ass to Ohio and you buy a $300,000 house making 65 grand a year, and you are a good cop because you can afford to live there. But you can't afford to live in Miami, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Denver, where crime is overrunning those cities, because everyone's interested in defunding the police and no one's interested in backing the blue. But we think you got the easiest job in real estate because the trends are already present for you as a realtor. So today we're going to go through a quick introduction and a little bit of my background. We're going to talk about how you can attract listings and essential employee relocation from the HR directors, not from the sellers. The sellers come into it, but the HR directors are the ones that let you know who's retiring and who's joining the force. We're going to also show you exactly how we spend your 25% referral fee, because Randy and Russ and Carrie aren't taking any checks. We're not taking any paychecks. So what do we do with that 25% referral fee that you send to Hero Benefits Network? You're going to learn all about that. And then at 10:20-ish, Hero engagement precedes Hero transactions. You've got to do the work. I was at a seminar back in the 80s when everyone was still allowed to be a smartass, and the speakers sort of taped a payday candy bar at the bottom of everyone's chair, and we didn't know there was a payday candy bar underneath our seats. And at some point in the session, the guy says, "Stand up for a second and reach under your seat." And we all got a break. They handed us all a payday candy bar, which is all peanuts and chocolate or something. And the guy was such a smart aleck. He said, "What did we prove today? We proved that you got to get off your ass if you want to get a payday in residential real estate. You got to get off your ass." Automated, actionable human resources procurement. That's a lot of words. Automated means it happens for you if you just do it. Actionable means you just have to push a couple buttons. Human resources are the target of our work. We don't talk to the public at large as much as we talk to the human resources departments at these organizations. And we want to teach you how you, as a realtor, can become the exclusive hero relationship, for example, to law enforcement officers or to nurses or to firefighters. All in all, it costs $100 to start, which includes an exclusive zip code. But as I mentioned a few moments ago, you do not have to buy a zip code to get started. We just recommend that you procure a zip code because then you would become part of our exclusive real estate and referral network, and you would be able to participate in the portal and all the things that we do together with our exclusive partners. But you can still do transactions without buying a zip code, so don't worry. And then at the bottom of your screen in red ink, schedule your first human resources appointment together with Randy or Russ. We want to do these appointments with you. We do not want to have you fly blind into the sheriff's office. We do not want you to fly blind as a newbie into a hospital district. We will present and do the consultation with you for the Hero Resources appointment. You just got to go out and get them. I added the slide about a half an hour ago. I didn't do this slide for the mortgage and title people that are with us, but for the realtors, I emotionalize the real estate industry a little bit more than the mortgage and title industries. I don't see a lot of sales in the mortgage industry. I see a lot of clerks. I see a lot of $1 million a month chumps just taking what they get. You know what I mean? And in the mortgage industry, if you just engage the realtors a little bit and kissed a little realtor ass, you could do 2 and 3 million a month. But a lot of our mortgage bankers are just not natural born salespeople. They're sort of pragmatic, charismatic, trustworthy people, poker players almost, but they're not real salespeople. So I had a hard time in the mortgage industry because they get paid so much per deal and it's so easy to do it. Like they don't have to do much. So they just have to get your application in and send it off to a processor. So a lot of mortgage bankers aren't doing that much labor. They're not doing much selling. They're just kind of waiting for their charisma to acquire, realtors that like them. And I want to challenge you to pick your mortgage banker differently from now on. If your mortgage banker is not helping you do more business, don't use them anymore. If you're stuck below your income goals and you happen to be in sales, I'm going to give you a few pointers. I guess that's what a coach kind of does, right? Coach you up a little bit. Send me an email with your written goals and plans to achieve them. That's my favorite thing that anyone does. I read those emails no matter how long they are, and I get into them, and then I respond. And then we could become friends, because people with written goals and plans to achieve them are the people who I like to work with. People without written goals and no plans to achieve them bore me, and I don't like to be around them. And since I'm a volunteer, I get to pick and choose who I want to work with. So if you want to work together with the Key to Coach, send me an email with your written goals and plans to achieve them, and I will be your partner in production. I recommend reading. I just gave this to my 26-year-old daughter for Christmas. What? Christmas present? A book? What a bore. Read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It could change your life, as it has mine and about 60 million people. Send 20 handwritten notes to Leo, the lion of HBN. It's going to cost you $20, about 75 cents a stamp now. But those handwritten notes do get opened, so that $20 could produce 6 or 7 transactions for you. And I will do the presentation, the consultation with you. You don't have to worry, oh my God, someone called me back on my note. What do I do? We'll do the presentation with you. You don't have to worry about it. Just send 20 handwritten notes. I'm going to show you what to write in the handwritten in it. Number 4, text Russ. There's my number right there. Or Randy to conduct the HR consultation regarding down payment assistance relocation grants with that Hero Benefits HR director. I hope that's clear. Number 4, if you get a call back from one of your handwritten notes, which you will, I actually get about 2 in 10. About 20% of my handwritten notes give me a call, which is phenomenal. So if you just send out 20 notes, you'll probably get about 4 inbound calls, and your website will get a hit. You'll get some HBN.org registrations from sending those notes, and then we send them back to you if you own a zip code. So text Russ or Randy to conduct the HR consultation regarding down payment assistance relocation grant. There's my cell phone number right there. Attend Key to Coaching on Wednesdays. Excuse me. If you're stuck below your income goals, consider attending Key to Coaching every Wednesday. Plus, my experience, 40 years managing realtors and the sales process in residential real estate, tells me that if you're below your income goals, you may need to develop a skill called crucial conversations. Realtors are deliberate intent in a field that you have to have big boy conversations, serious, crucial conversations. And if you're not skilled at the methodology of having crucial conversations, you may flub some of the big ticket conversations that you have to have about commissions, and listing agreements and your role and your advice to those sellers and buyers. Crucial Conversations Book Club is starting in February. Go ahead and buy the book now. We're going to do a weekly Crucial Conversations Book Club for, I think it's 16 chapters written by 5 psychologists about the most important conversations in your life. I went back to 2 books this year. I went back to Dale Carnegie, the original How to Win Friends and Influence People, and I started reading that again in December. And then I'm starting Crucial Conversations again because it is the quintessential communication tool for anyone in high dollar sales, high tense environments. So we're going to do that book club as a free service from the Hero Benefits Network. And the last thing I want to talk about before we get into the HBN opportunity is just the cardinal rule of residential real estate, which is spend a dime, make a dollar. And I've made a living, tell you a little behind the scenes secret. I can get very, very wealthy. And you could get very, very wealthy if you sold dollars for dimes. I've been selling dollars for dimes for decades. I teach realtors how to spend a dime and make a dollar. And in the Hero Benefits Network, we ask $1,200 for an exclusive zip code for the annual commitment. And we're raising that price by 30% February 1st. So we're raising it from $100 a month to $130 a month, but not for our existing members, only for new members. But this is because we realized that we're actually selling dollars for dimes. When you spend $1,200 with Hero Benefits Network, I can virtually guarantee $12,000 if you just send out a few notes. To spend $1,200 and make $12,000. That is the most sustainable business model I've ever encountered in residential real estate. And although it seems fairly common sense to you right now, while you're hearing spend a dime, make a dollar, that's not how most realtors act. That's not even how some of the billionaire mortgage bankers act that I've talked to. They're spending dollars and making dimes. And I'm screaming, why are we spending dollars to make dimes? We should be spending dimes to make dollars. That's not a good way to go. And unfortunately, a lot of the opportunities like Zillow and Realtor.com or most of them, you can spend a dime and not even make a dime. You could buy leads and not have very many of them close. But with Hero Benefits Network and farming and expired listings and by owners and business to business networking, like tells the name of that company that does business to business networking. You know it off the top of your head, and I can't catch it in the back of my mind. Just business to business networking, like the JCs or Kiwanis Club, or joining the Young Republicans Club and doing some networking, or joining the Chamber of Commerce. These are the ways that realtors spend a dime and make a dollar. It's not like when that ad guy comes to you and says, "I want to buy an ad in my book for $500 a month," and you spend $6,000, but you don't even make 60 grand back. You only make like 8 grand. You only sell 1 or 2 houses. That's not good business in residential real estate. Spending a dime and making a dollar. So we're going to be asking you to buy a dollar for $1,200. We're going to ask you to buy $12,000 minimum income for just a $100 a month commitment. But Hero Benefits Network finds top real estate and mortgage vendors to serve America's most respected public servants. I opened the Essential Employee Relocation Company, which is a licensed residential real estate brokerage in Florida. EERC is the company that processes all of the residential real estate transactions and referral fees. Our job at Hero Benefits Network is a nonprofit, and we help your cops and your firefighters and your teachers find the most cost-effective and financially rewarding path towards homeownership. Or, as I mentioned about that Miami cop that needed to move to Ohio, when these cops decide they've had enough and they don't want to work in Miami anymore, they don't want to work in LA anymore, they don't want to work in San Francisco anymore, they don't want to work in Denver anymore. The cops don't want to work in Seattle, Washington, or Portland, Oregon anymore. They don't want to work in New Orleans anymore. The cops do not want to work. Am I going too long? Atlanta, they don't want to work there anymore either. I talked to the cops. They want to move to those little towns where you guys watch your Hallmark movies in and just be a cop there. Shit, I can afford a house. I don't get stabbed, shot, or yelled at by the public at large. We find the products, the programs, and the loans that help the cops relocate, and that turns into a listing for you because we are essentially an employee relocation company. But instead of giving the referral fees to the rich guys at Realogy, instead of giving your referral fee to the wealthy bastard that sits in the ivory tower, we give it back to the cop. So if you're certified with HBN, there is no monthly fee or transaction fee at all. You don't have to pay $100 a month. You don't have to pay $1,200 a year. You don't have to buy a county. You just commit to giving us 30% referral fee for any of the essential employees that do relocation through you. And we give 25% of gross back to the cop. Now, exclusive realtors that do pay the monthly fee, they only have to pay a 25% referral fee because we make our money on the 5% on that one so that we can pay our technology and our marketing and our employees. Again, Carrie and I make no money, nor does Randy, but essentially the 5% collects in a fund to pay our membership director or our technology or our IT people or whatever. And we have to collect some money to cover those costs. So if you don't want to pay a monthly fee, you can sign up right now and pay 30%. If you do want to pay a monthly fee, or you already do, you know that you're only paying a 25% referral fee, and 100% of that goes back to the hero. We flirted with some policies to take like a $35 transaction fee just for the process of processing it. But also, we make our money by mortgage bankers, mortgage brokers, or mortgage bankers doing exclusive territories, title companies, and attorneys and builders. Think about this. You're a realtor. There's 5 builders in your community. They're all building houses. You ain't sold none of them. You ain't made none of those commissions yet this year, 2025. Walk in. Hi, I'm a nonprofit. I help cops, firefighters, and teachers and veterans buy houses. We also do this program for all the hospital district at Lee County Hospital District. So we can help bring you buyers to your community. Can I talk to your builder about a small donation on every house that we sell so that we can offer an even more substantial down payment assistance if the cop buys a home in your community? This is not easy to master the complexities of this, but imagine if your real estate brokerage offered the only 2% bonus available from Lennar, and the cops and firefighters and essential employees went through you to get it. The term gimmick comes up a lot in unique selling propositions, but what it really is it's strategically advantaged marketing. It's marketing with golden handcuffs, golden guardrails. So we don't just go get a cop and say, hey, cop, you should use us at RE/MAX. That's what I used to do. And then I said, hey, if you use Russ at RE/MAX, you get $7,000 more than if you use Betty at Century 21. I used it as a differentiator. Okay. It was a differentiator, and it paid exponential returns on the dime a dollar formula. Spend a dime, make a dollar. Well, I could spend a dime and make $60. I'm not freaking kidding. These cops are very, very loyal. Firefighters, teachers, nurses. I got 4 nurses in my cell phone right now on speed dial and chat, going back and forth on their transactions right this minute from Macon County Angel Medical. I got 950 inquiries from nurses moving to Franklin, North Carolina, believe it or not. 957 inquiries from nurses moving to Franklin, North Carolina, which is a teeny town of only about 28,000 people. HBN formula is accepted by realtors industry-wide because most of us realtors are happy to pay a 25% referral fee if the transaction closes. And I think the reason for that, in red at the bottom of your screen, and I'm not talking about KW, and I'm not talking about the major residential real estate brands, but it's not unusual in your market to find a handful of real estate brands that would offer 100% of your commission. So we used to have to get our broker's license to get 100% commission, right? But you guys just go to United and get 100% commission. Or you go to, you negotiate 100% commission with a broker, or they give you a little bit of a smaller fee. There's whole companies developed, nationwide companies developed just to do that. So the other side of it is that a third of all the realtors in the industry are on a team. So these team members will gladly work for a 50-50 split as long as they can pay after they close the deal. They don't want to pay, spend a dime, make a dollar. They'd rather spend $5 to make a dollar as long as they don't have to spend the $5 to get into it. So they'll give you 50% of their money, $5 to make a dollar, but they don't have to lay out the $5 up front because they know they don't confidently have the skill set to do that. So what they do is they sit underneath a team leader who will spend the money. They're spending, the dimes, and you're making the dollars, but they're keeping 50% of the money. In the 90s, the average split was about 60-40. In 2000s, I hired 1,400 agents on a 70-30 split. And in 2020, the average among productive agents, nearly 85% to the agent. When you see these big boy listing agents all over the country, they got 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 listings. There ain't none of them working less than 85% splits now. So if you're on an 85% split with Caldwell or Keller or Century 21 or ERA, or you net effective 90% split at Remax or whatever, you can confidently give back 25% and know that you're still in business comfortably, right? So if this is the first time you've seen the math, this is what you lead with those HR directors, right? You don't lead with your Remax balloon. You don't lead with the big KW. You don't walk in with the Caldwell Banker Blue. Instead, our brand, the 501c3 brand, is more compelling to the prospect. What I mean by that is all of the cops, firefighters, and teachers listen to one radio station. It's called What's in It for Me, WIFM. What's in it for me? So when you walk in with a Remax balloon, there's nothing in it for them except another Remax agent. But when you walk in as a Hero Benefits Network director and you do not mention Remax, it's strategically an advantage for you because our brand plays on the What's in It for Me network, where your brand plays on the What's in It for You network. So Remax will do ads like, we sell a lot of houses, we make a lot of money, we make more money than you, we make more money than everybody. We're the most money-making real estate agents there is. But that's not for the customer, right? That's just for your own ego. What we do is we approach them and say, hi, nonprofit. We provide down payment assistance and relocation grants to law enforcement officers through a nonprofit. Our DPA and relocation grants never have to be repaid, and they don't affect your credit. So we just gift you the money because we're a nonprofit. Buy a $300,000 house, we're going to give you $3,450. Buy a $400,000 house, which is the national median, $4,600. $500,000, we're going to give you $5,750. When you list your house with the Essential Employee Relocation Package, you're going to get up to $10,000. So if you sell a 300, buy a 300, you get about $6,000. If you sell a 500, buy a 500, you get about $9,500. This is only down payment assistance relocation grants for people who qualify, essential employees. Where this comes from, title agency donates a little bit. Real estate agent donates 25% of gross commission. Mortgage banker agrees to 25 bips to the hero. So you've got, about $1,100 from the bank. You got about $2 or $3 grand from the realtor, and you got about $500 from the title agent, and those are commensurate with the revenue that they make per transaction. A mortgage banker makes a lot less per deal than a realtor, but they do more deals than a realtor because they have 10 realtors doing deals with them. Only one realtor gets 10 grand a file, but they only make maybe 3 or 4 grand a file, but they're getting 5 or 6 files a month. So we only can get 25 bips out of them. We can only get 25% out of you because you're willing to pay it on a closed deal. And then we're able to get about $500 off of the promulgated title insurance rate in your state, donated to us to give back to the heroes. So we curate the full down payment assistance relocation grants from the realtor, the title company, and the mortgage bank. And I think we're the only ones that do that. I'm not 100% sure, but I haven't heard any other DPA programs nationwide that curate their donations from the title company, the real estate company, and the mortgage company that do the deal. So if you tried to do this on your own, you'd have your own commission. Say, I'll give you half my commission. I'll give you half my commission. But that's just a sloppy, sleazy way to do it. What we do is clean, legal, compliant, and fully understood by our members and by our heroes. The map on your screen really shows what I was just talking about when I rattled off New Orleans and San Fran and LA and Seattle and Portland and Miami. Look at the dots. I mean, look at the red dots. Negative net domestic migration. That means if somebody's in Minneapolis or Detroit, or they're in New Orleans, or they're in Austin, not Austin so much, but Houston, and certainly Dallas, these pockets, very, very expensive pockets in New Mexico and Denver, and look at Phoenix over there, and God, just stare at that for a moment and you'll know this is what's happening. The cops in Fort Lauderdale are leaving and going up to Titusville. Cops in Miami are leaving and going up to Palatka or Stewart or, anything above Donald Ross Road. And then the cops and firefighters and teachers in Dallas are leaving and going out to Waco. So you've got this down pat. You could see what's happening because of homeownership affordability and the inflation crisis and the reality that these prices are not likely to come down. We've been honoring educators since 1986. We've been honoring cops since 1986. We do veterans, active duty veterans, and you ever want to make a good friend quick? Walk into the VFW or the American Legion. Walk into the American Legion, walk into the Veterans of Foreign War, and tell them that you work for a nonprofit that helps veterans with housing. Slow your roll, be intentional, be careful with your words. Don't mention your greedy, grubby fingers begging for real estate transactions. That's not what you're there for. Your greedy, grubby real estate fingers do not beg for real estate transactions at the VFW or the American Legion. What you do instead is you give before getting. They deserve your VIP care and attention, and their families and their individual sacrifice warrants your respect, I believe. If you don't believe that, click off the screen now, because if you don't feel like cops and teachers and firefighters and firemen and veterans need or deserve a little extra, then you're not part of us. That's us. That's who we are. We believe that. I don't like saying 3,000 to 5,000 free because the median home in America is 400,000 now. It's 406 as of last month. So, 400,000 buy, yeah, you're going to get $5,000. But if you do a little lesser transaction, you could get less than $5,000. That's why it says up to $5,000 and up to $10,000, because they kind of get it right away. You're only buying a $250. You can't get the whole $10,000, and they say, oh, that's no problem. I start every conversation with a hero called a relocation analysis. Where are you moving from? A little rental in Tamarack? Okay. Well, if your lease is up in, August, would you like to do a relo analysis to take a look at how homeownership affordability can help you get in and buy a house? before your lease is up? Would you like to do a relo analysis to see what it would look like to relocate from a rental to owning? That is not simple math. This is why they need your leadership. Even the smartest, most savvy consumer really underestimates the relocation, the gravity of relocation. So if you happen to make a friend at the PBA or the FOP or the firefighters union, or like I said, if you wanted to make a friend at the American Legion, you go into the teachers union as an example, and you say, hey, I work for a nonprofit. I'm a benefits director. That's who I am. I'm not a realtor. I say this every freaking time I talk to realtors. I'm not a realtor. I'm a director of a hero program. It's a nonprofit. I also sell real estate as a full-time job. That's separate. But in this, when I'm wearing this hat, I'm only here to make sure your people are aware of down payment assistance and relocation grants that they qualify for just by being a member of the American Legion. And that's, I don't know, it's not a secret. It's just more effective. So in sales and crucial conversations, you're going to see this. I went back to How to Win Friends and Influence People, and I went back to crucial conversations because these are the tricks that the smartest people in the world use to keep people calm when they're making their decisions. It has to do with the order, sequence, and intention of the words that you use. So when you walk into the VFW, the order, sequence, and intention of the words you use are very, very important. And if you begin to acknowledge the tricks of the trade or the communication skills taught through How to Win Friends and Influence People and crucial conversations, and you combine those two communication skills, you can be much more effective when you're talking to a seller, whether it's a buy owner, an expired, a farming client, an aunt, uncle, or cousin, or a veteran. You know how to dialogue in the appropriate order, sequence, use the right words in the right time, and with the right intention. And that's what helps you get more business. Yes, you can own a zip code, you can own a county, or you can own a state. If I were a team leader, I'd probably buy a county because I'd want all my team members to be in it. If I were a large broker owner, say above 100 agents, I might consider a statewide exclusive in a small state, or maybe I just do Southeast Florida. Maybe I just do 2 or 3 counties. But I'm going to invest heavily in a spend a dime, make a dollar model because my teammates or my agents in my brokerage can benefit. And we will assign territories and we will manage those assigned territories at our discretion and we'll help you be productive. But if you're not going to do the procurement work in that county, if you're not going to do the marketing and social media, if you're not going to copy and paste our social media into that market, we'll let you go. We don't need agents as much as we need representatives. We don't need real estate agents. Real estate agents are a dime a dozen. There's about 2 million of them. And all of them will accept our referrals for 25 and 30%. That's not a question. What the question is can we get you to do the work? W-O-R-K, the ugliest 4-letter word in real estate, work. Everybody hates it. But this work is easy. You could call it karma. You could call it reciprocity, or you could call it a gimmick. But when a humble servant washes another person's feet, there something comes back to you. Okay. Not immediately, not always, but good things happen to good people. So being a humble servant leader and representing the employee benefits for a nonprofit, it's a very successful trade. It's humble servant for a reciprocity from the entire law enforcement community. And I can attest to that from 1986 to 2006 while I was selling houses to cops. We're almost done for the day. In fact, I think I'm over my time because I added that one slide a half an hour ago. But if you'd like to stay on with me, I'm going to go through the Leo opportunity. And this is a life or death brotherhood. My friend Bryant Penny, who I was roommates with for a little while, got shot in the chest and died. Some police officers are at war every day. The danger is ever present. And unfortunately, the stigma, stress, and anxiety of being a police officer is at an all-time high. So compensation remains fairly low among the law enforcement community in direct comparison to the median housing, right? So when we back the blue, the reciprocity and fellowship sort of are contagious. And I love this next picture right here because that's technically what it feels like. Realistically, that is what this endeavor feels like when I meet the chief of police and he refers me to 6 cops that are retiring this year. Holy shit. 6 cops that are retiring were referred to me by the chief of police. Yeah, that's a pebble in a pond. And I'm going to talk to you about a farm area, a residential real estate subdivision farm area for a minute, because the family on 22nd Avenue doesn't tell the family on 26th Avenue to use you, right? But in the police department, the lieutenant that uses you tells the sergeant to use you, okay? The new cop that was hired tells his sergeant that you did him a good job. So there's a very favorable pebble in the pond function at the PBA, the FOP, the Veterans of Foreign War, the Jacksonville Police Station. So I did a little analysis of Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, and I found that they were doing like, I think like 12 dates in Jacksonville for recruiting law enforcement officers. So day one, $1, those law enforcement officers make between $40,000 and $60,000. So if their wife is working and they're new in the police force, but last year they were in school, or the year before that they were in the police academy, we can use that time, and you can find out if the wife is on for 2 years and this guy's new to being a police officer. Is there a way you can get them financed, or do they have to rent for another year or two? But you're going to do their loan if you are part of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office recruiting system. And retirement is probably the most lucrative side of this for me, and it will be for you as well. When Mike Williams announced his retire, he's doing what's called an early drop. He's a young cop. He's probably in his mid 40s, maybe early 40s. But because he started being a cop when he was 23, he's retiring when he's 43 or 48, right? And when he retires, he's going to have this $5,000 a month pension for the rest of his life. So that in itself is not a bad trade-off for 20 years of getting shot at, I guess. But at the end of that 20 years or 25 years, he's probably going to move to Franklin, North Carolina and become a cop up there for $4,000 a month. And he's going to add that to his $5,000 a month pension from Jacksonville. So now he's making $9,000 a month. He does that from 43 to 63, and he makes another pension so that between 63 and 90, hopefully, if he lives that long, he's going to have the $10,000 a month in pension from that point forward. So we know all about the drop system in the school board and in the police department and in governmental employees. There's a lot of double dipping going on where they get the first pension, they go on to join another place. Those are the people we help with relocation. If I were to give you an assignment, January of 2025, I would send 19 letters, 19 emails, and 19 handwritten notes. That's what I would do. And I would send them to these people. And then I'd catch up with them with 19 more handwritten notes per month. I would send a FedEx package to this dude right here. His name is Chris Brown. I would send a FedEx package to both of these dudes, chief and the deputy chief. See, the dude down there, Chris Brown, he's a HR director, so he's hot stuff. And I'd also send some notes to the sheriff's department. I'd send some notes to the FOP. Handwritten notes, that's all, just a little scribble scrabble. Takes a second. There's the address and there's the person's name and everything, not a problem. If I were a Hero Benefits Network director and I found out that there was a police funeral within 300 miles of me and I didn't have to, I'm sorry, I would like to go. I would like you to go. It's the saddest thing you've ever seen. It's a little even sadder than war. I don't know why it is for me, but there's something humble about being a cop that when you get shot, it's just a terrible thing. I can't explain it. And I think maybe it came to me because when I was a 14-year-old kid, my dad got his throat slit in a SWAT situation, and he was in the hospital and he got stitches and he had a big scar. He still has a scar now. And my God, Ed, they lied to us as children. They told us it wasn't that. They told us he got in an accident, but we found out later it was a knife. Fraternal Police, Jacksonville, Florida, Chelsea Smith and Joanne Seach. These are the people that you show the down payment assistance and relocation grants to. You don't show the REMAX balloon. You don't show the Caldwell Banker blue. You don't show the ERA sign. Instead, you show the HBN nonprofit 501c3 charitable organization to Joanne and Chelsea, and they disperse the down payment assistance and relocation grant information out to those law enforcement officers on your behalf. These are law enforcement agencies that you don't readily think about a lot of times, but the DEA has offices in Jacksonville, the FBI has offices in Jacksonville, and Homeland Security has offices in Jacksonville. And all of these people combine to become your new willing and able farm area. And I'm going to touch on that just one last time before we wrap up for the day. Your farm area doesn't have a willing and able decision to your farming. They're just a subdivision. They didn't decide to opt in to you farming them. You just send them a red velvet cake recipe card once a month and they think you're a realtor. But they didn't opt in. These guys opt in. They say, please farm me. Please stay in touch with me. They say, please allow me to put your ad in the PBA. Please allow me to put a banner out on the FOP. Please allow me to send an email out to the CIA. The human resources director becomes your farming partner. And that's a pivotal lesson that many realtors never learn. So when you lead with down payment assistance and relocation grants as a nonprofit, the HR directors farm for you. And you don't have to pay the $1,000 a month to send out red velvet recipe cards. Instead, you're sending out pre-prepared social media, pre-prepared letters, door hangers, emails, whatever it is, and flyers out to these folks. Not door hangers, sorry. Hero Benefits Network is a nonprofit committed. So this is direct letter, handwritten note to Jerry. We offer down payment assistance and relocation grants to all law enforcement professionals. Our grants never have to be repaid, and the only qualification is sworn officer or civilian law enforcement employee. Up to $5,000 down payment assistance, $10,000 relocation grants if they're moving to or from Jacksonville, job transfer, promotion, or retirement. We've been helping law enforcement officers navigate the homeownership affordability crisis since 1986, and that's how I sign my notes. I'll include a business card in it, but the business card will be from HBN. It will not be from REMAX. It's not required to disclose a business to business that you're a real estate agent. You're just a representative of HBN, and it's useful. So I'm showing you a $5 million a year business plan in Jacksonville. By doing certain things on a monthly basis that we give to you for free, you become the representative. So if you did 5 million closed annual production in Leo, Jacksonville, you would make $150,000, and we would make 25% of that we give back to the hero. A little while ago, I said I'd tell you what we do with the money. We give 100% of that money back to the hero. We don't keep it. So you make $112,500, we make $0, and the hero makes 25% of your gross. That's real. Okay. So again, you can call it a gimmick. You can call it reciprocity. I call it karma. You've got 5 opportunities each week to work together with Hero Benefits Network. On Mondays, we do mortgage math with all our mortgage bankers. So if you know of a mortgage banker that you'd like to partner with, the best way that you can prop up your hero network is to get a mortgage banker to partner with you. And if you put that mortgage banker on Monday, I'll give you a 50-50, 70-30 chance they'll join you up. Tuesdays, we partner with title companies. We want you as the realtor to tell the title company that you like about us. They don't have to pay us any money. We're not collecting money, but we would like them to consider joining you in a zip code exclusive to support our network. We would like them to consider buying a county for $500 a month or a state for, a fee, but that's not required. So you don't have to feel like you're convincing them to join up and pay money. You just need to give them an opportunity to visit with us and see if they want to create a three-legged stool with you. You need a mortgage banker, a title company, and a real estate agent. That's all you need. 3 people. Title, mortgage, real estate. That's what makes the grands. So if you don't have a title partner or a mortgage banker in your area, it's already a part of HBN, tell us. We'll try to enroll one for you or nominate one to come Monday or Tuesday. Wednesdays, this is our weekly key to coaching. And then from now on, we're going to be doing Thursday orientation, complete with clear to close protocol. That's every Thursday. I think that's going to be on demand. I think that's a pretty simple didactic experience. You don't need to, if you need to ask questions or talk to us, you can send us an email or a text or whatever. And then, of course, we want every realtor. I have a mandate from a donor to get 40,000 realtors certified this year. And my staff doesn't believe we're going to be able to do it. And based on the numbers in January, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to do it. But I have a feeling that God is good, and there's a prayer that's going to be answered soon regarding EXP and REMAX and potentially Exit Realty. And those 3 brands will probably feed us our 40,000 this year. If you are with a brand and you can nominate a leader that we can talk to about certifying more realtors, don't put them in your county. We want you to have the exclusive rep in that county or that city or that zip code. But if you ever nominated us to a Keller Williams leader in another county and helped us out, it really does feed our well-being by growing our number of certified realtors. So we don't charge those realtors any money, but one of my donors says if we don't get to 40,000 realtors, we're not relevant in the industry, right? We don't have enough coverage. So I didn't set it. He set 40,000 as the number that he would come back and pay attention to us financially and make donations that are large enough to change the landscape of Hero Benefit Network. Meaning, we've got some technology that we want. We got some marketing we want. We've got some pay-per-click that we want to do. A lot of important things with essential employee relocation and communicating with those leaders and replacing the relocation executives that are handling those relos now, and us coming in and giving that money back to the heroes. So I can't do that without a critical mass. And the donor that I've been dealing with that's a billionaire says, if we can get to 40,000, then it would become a mechanism that we could really wag the dog. And those are his words, that Hero Benefits Network will be the tail that wags the dog of residential real estate. In other words, we'll be more powerful than REMAX, Keller Williams, Coldwell Banker, Century 21 in the sector of essential employees. Clear as a bell. We want to be more important than Movement, Rocket, or Cross Country in the hearts and minds of the essential employees. So we want them to think of Hero Benefits first, then, Cross Country's in there. Or think of us first, Movement is in there. We want Keller Williams and REMAX and Century 21 offices to be a part of Hero Benefits Network. But we want the Hero Benefits Network to be the tail that wags the dog of who's the procuring cause and the first substantive contact with these customers. And we're getting them before they go on Zillow, before they go on Realtor.com, before they go on Homes.com. We're getting them to come to us to register for the down payment assistance before they go out shopping. And that, my friends, is the secret to an effective sales funnel that also has golden guardrails around it that don't encourage the customer to leave the sales funnel. I was involved in sales funnel management for other, multi-millionaires and billionaires, and we were managing a $70,000 a month lead flow budget, and none of the customers stayed with the guy until closing. He just bought leads and threw them down the garbage. What I'm trying to do is buy leads and keep them in us. And the way we do that is with the barb on the hook called relocation grants and down payment assistance. If you need us, 1-800-299-WORKS. If you need me, text me at 954-695-2314. I'm going to do that one more time. 954-695-2314. That's my text. And if you need us to do an appointment for you, we'll do them for you for free. Thanks so much for being on. We'll see you next week, Wednesday, on Key to Coaching. The call to action today was 20 handwritten notes. If you missed that, can't help. Thanks a lot.